Bye guys, love you, see you in a minute. I'm heading in to get the plane set up. It's Saturday morning. Kelly and the kids are going to pick up some Chick-fil-A on the way to the airport, and I'm just going to go get things tuned up and ready to go. Once all the pre-flight's done, we'll get started. I've got an IFR flight plan filed just for clouds in Athens that we may or may not activate. We'll check the weather one more time before we go. See if we can get out of here today and spend the weekend after New Year's with the family. Yesterday we saw a few otters running across the street right here. We were up checking the plane just to make sure there were no big issues before this morning, and right here on the way over to that pond, these otters came running across the street. I'd never seen a group of otters. I'm not sure if they're called a group of otters. Anyway, a group of otters crossing the street right in front of us. That was a lot of fun. The kids enjoyed it. They were up here checking and cleaning the plane and doing what kids do while I do the pre-flight. Okay, let's go. Stewart ground, Aztec 2441 Mike, currently sitting in front of Stewart Jet Center, looking to copy my IFR clearance to Athens.
November 41 Mike, Stewart ground, you're clear to the Athens airport via radar vectors to Treasure. Victor 3 is filed. Maintain 3,000. Expect 6,010 minutes after. Departure is 123.62, squawk 2117.
Aztec 2441 Mike, cleared via radar vectors to Treasure Victor 3. Altitude 3,000, expect 6,010 minutes thereafter. Frequency 123.61, transponder 2117.
November 41 Mike, read back correct. November 41 Mike, Stewart, ground, runway 12, taxi via Alpha.
Taxi via Alpha to runway 12. Alright, we are clear, right, left, and center. Alright, so chance of clouds along the way and up in Athens today, so I just filed IFR.
I was wondering why.
Possibly cloudy in the middle and possibly cloudy when we get there with clouds up to 35,000 feet, so.
Well, that's a little too high.
Yeah, we're not flying over that, so I just filed IFR. We'll just be done with it rather than go around it.
Sounds good. I mean, you take the same place that you always take anyway. It said Victor 3, so.
Yeah. Stewart Tower, Aztec 2441 Mike, holding short runway 12, ready for departure.
Stewart 2441 Mike, Stewart Tower, runway 12, clear for takeoff, flight runway heading.
Runway 12, cleared for takeoff, runway heading. 41 Mike.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Alright, here we go. Off to Athens.
Love you, everybody.
Love you too. Here we go. Right into the sun.
I know, I should have got my sunglasses out.
Alright, airspeed alive times 3. Here's 55. Everything's in the green. 65. Rotate. Pause the brake, tap the brakes. Gear coming up.
Stewart 2441 Mike, runway heading, contact Palm Beach departure, good day.
Continue runway heading, contact Palm Beach approach 401 Mike. Good day to you. Palm Beach approach Aztec 2441 Mike, just off Stewart at 800 feet, climbing 3000. Runway heading.
Number 2441 Mike, Palm Beach departure radar contact, climb and maintain 4000, turn left turn heading 360.
Climb and maintain 4000, left turn heading 360, 41 Mike.
November 2441 Mike, turn left heading 320.
Left heading 320, 41 Mike.
November 2441 Mike, turn left heading 290.
Left heading 290, 41 Mike. Not our usual route.
No, we're getting the complete opposite of the coast now. Hi, coast. See you tomorrow.
November 2441 Mike, climb and maintain 5000.
Climb and maintain 5000, 41 Mike.
Number 2441 Mike, fly heading at 340, vector for routing.
Heading 340, vectors for routing, 41 Mike.
Number 2441 Mike, clear direct Denby, Delta, India, Mike, Bravo, Yankee. Join Tango 208 to Foxham, Foxtrot, Oscar, X-ray, Alpha, Mike to Delta, Bravo, November, and then direct Alpha, Hotel, November.
Direct Dimby, join Tango 208 to Foxham, to Dublin, to Athens, 41 Mike. Hey guys, we're all set up. You can go ahead and eat.
Delbies.
13215 for America.
Ducks.
American 338, contact Miami.
Gatings.
Alright, so last time we did this, we learned that you can eat in the plane and the plane does not stink like Chick-fil-A the next time we get in it.
As
So,
long as they don't make an absolute mess.
Don't
and
make
get,
a
like,
mess.
ground into
we're going to have
carpet.
sky breakfast. Do you have any hand sanitizer?
Yes. One moment, please. I didn't expect that. I'm glad you had your glasses on so it didn't get
Why
your
is there
eyeball.
hand sanitizer on my face?
I just opened it.
This
It
mom
just
opened
shot
it,
everywhere.
and we're at altitude, so the pressure squirted hand sanitizer all over us.
I was not expecting that. Hold out your hand. All right, everybody settled back there? Got your waters?
Can you open this?
I don't know. I didn't have very good track record.
15 back away.
Well, we did it. They didn't make a terrible mess in the plane. Woo! Yay! Wonderful start of the day. I still have your coffee though, so you never know.
I'm going to test out my watch. See how good this is with O2 sat. Alright, so normally on the ground, I run between 97 and 100 on every random check I've ever done. And we're going to see what happens now.
Could do mine too then.
Oh boy. Let's see, 7,000 feet. Should be a little low.
Just do not move your hand.
Well, don't move it.
Speed 190.
Can't help it. I'm wiggly.
Ooh, 94. I am getting lower.
Unsuccessful. Oh Lord, help us.
Don't move your wrist. Ooh, you're 94 also. Twin.
Twinsing.
Can I try mine?
1 second. Let me shut this off, and you gotta do it again.
93.
Dax is 93. Check yours, Shelby. 94.
What's the percent mean?
Percent oxygen
How much
saturation.
oxygen is in your blood?
When you're up high, you can get hypoxic, where your blood oxygen levels are low. And it can cause all sorts of things, but usually some sleepiness, confusion, start being unable to think clearly or make good decisions, are not high enough for it to be a problem. You guys usually do fine up to
That's the lowest.
10,000, 12,000 without doing anything other than getting sleepy.
That's the lowest.
Yeah, that's within measurement error. Above 12,500, I have to use oxygen. At 14,000, you have to use oxygen. So instead of doing a typical VFR flight this morning, we decided to go ahead and simply fly this one via IFR. You know, there's a front coming through, so we'll likely be dealing with some layers of clouds. It's no fun getting stuck when you think you can go VFR and then having to do pop-up IFR. It's just a little easier for everyone involved to file IFR and fly it from the beginning. VFR means visual flight rules, and so that means you can fly the whole way, staying out of the clouds, looking for traffic, and making sure you're not a hazard and you're able to do things safely. When there's cloud layers that would preclude you from being able to get down from altitude or as you're flying, being able to see traffic, you can file and fly IFR. So that means we don't have to be able to see outside the plane to remain safe within the clouds, because the air traffic controllers are doing all of the aircraft separation and all of the routing. They're our eyes while we're in the sky and inside of clouds, or blocked up from our typical route by clouds. When you fly IFR, you have to follow the rules of the controller. You have to do what they tell you to do. They're keeping you and everyone else safe. So I did file a proposed routing, and no less than 10 minutes after we were off the ground from Stewart, they called me up and said, we have an alternative routing. So that means we want you to go this way instead. They gave me several instructions. The first was Dimby. So when you look at the map, here is a waypoint called Dimby, D-I-M-B-Y. So Dimby is where we entered, and then they said, take Tango 208. If you look at the map, it says T208. So that's the airway that they wanted me to fly to the next waypoint, which is Foxham. And so Foxham is after a number of waypoints. And so when we enter the flight plan, and I enter it over here on my main avionics, now they do talk to each other, so I could have entered it here, but I prefer to enter it there. It will come up, and then you see right here at Ormond Beach, which we're flying over now, the plane's about to turn itself and head over the water at Palm Coast. And that's because our next intercept is Foxham, and you can see Foxham right here. So we follow that airway, and we do what we're supposed to do per air traffic control. Here's the plane turning. So we got just a few degrees of bank here as the plane turns itself via the autopilot using the routing inside here. We just, right now I'm babysitting and making sure the plane is flying the route it's supposed to take. But now we're lined up with Foxham, and we're going to continue this way, so a slight little deviation.
That was so very slight. I could hardly even tell.
Our normal course.
Yeah.
But instead of going over intercoastal, it's going to take us out over the actual coast here at Palm Coast, which is where the Foxham waypoint is. After Foxham, it gets real easy. Direct to Dublin, Delta Bravo November, and then direct Athens, which is Alpha Hotel November. So it's pretty much a straight line once we hit Foxham. As we get closer to Athens, we're going to reassess what the cloud situation is.
If it's not bad, you could cancel it, yeah.
If it's not bad, we'll cancel IFR and we'll just go visual. So we'll see what happens. We're ready for whatever.
Well, it's a convenient thing to have, because, I mean, when you are traveling and there is weather, you can continue about since you are instrument rated.
Yeah, no, it's good to have, but...
I mean, we went to Texas when we were in New Orleans.
Now, we've had several flights where we've had to go
we had to do IFR.
So if you're going to use a plane to travel, the weather is constantly changing, and absolutely go on, get your instrument rating so that you've got the tools you need to get home, as long as it's just, you know, something like clouds in the way. Clouds are commonly present. They can be very frustrating. You get stuck for hours on the ground waiting to take off when you're in places. And when you're IFR, you can just say, all right, I got 1,000 feet of clouds between me and being home. I have to get through them. The air is clear above. It's not, you know, this is not thunderstorm talk. Don't fly into a thunderstorm or, you know, a nasty front with wind shear. But assuming it's just clouds, which is typically how it is, then IFR lets you get up in the clouds and go do what you want to do. It's always nice to have it in your back pocket that you're IFR certified.
Nope, couldn't use it last weekend though. We're going to Christmas. It's January, and we're going to Christmas now.
I meant on my drive-in, I told people that we're making up for Christmas because the kids were sick, and now they're not. So. And
there was weather. AJ had to work over the actual holiday. He was on call, and then we were going to go over New Year's, and they had a cough. Which we've decided to stay at home just in case. And the weather. There was a really big storm coming through.
Yeah.
That would have been
shortened
a lot more difficult to go through. But here we are. We're trying again. And we're going to go see my family. But AJ's parents are moving down to Florida for a few weeks. So we'll see them when they come down.
They're pretending to be snowbirds this year.
We're excited. We're excited they're going to come. So hopefully we'll get to go on a flight with them. They got to fly to breakfast with us last year sometime.
So as my parents come down and they do their little shortened version of a snowbird season in Florida for a few weeks. We may or may not take them flying. It depends. They're going to be bringing their dogs with them, so we're not going to do any overnight trips, so they don't have to board the dogs.
So
I'm not letting the dogs in the airplane.
We may go for a meal. There's not enough room with 6 of us for dogs, but
no, we can put them on the kids' lap.
they're larger than the children.
They would love it, but no.
Shelby would love it. She loves their dogs. Loves them.
Anyway, no. No dogs in the plane, but you know, maybe a
What a party pooper.
We might do an afternoon flight, you know, over the west coast of Florida and back. You know, it's hard to know. We'll see what they're into.
A sunset flight.
Sunset flight would be cool. So we talked about me not being available to fly for Christmas time. Both families are in Georgia, so we can get up to North Georgia, see both sides of the family for the holiday. The kids are on break. It usually goes quite well, but I was on call. ER call for the hospital. If you don't already know, then for a living, I'm an orthopedic surgeon, primarily an upper extremity specialist. But on call, we take all general orthopedic call. So Christmas Eve, I just got demolished. I get a phone call with one of the most interesting consults I have ever been called with. I will never forget this phone call.
You've gotten some interesting calls in the past, though. Like when
I have it tons.
When you were in Pittsburgh, like that lady getting her hair caught in the like machinery.
That wasn't Pittsburgh. That was Georgia.
That was Georgia.
Yeah. When I was a medical student and I was on a general surgery trauma rotation, one of the very first days that I was on that rotation, we got a call to go down for someone coming in that had been scalped. She was in manufacturing, had been her whole life, and her glove got caught in a machine. When she pulled her hand out of the glove, her hair got caught in the machine, and rather than her pull her head into the machine, she braced herself and held, and when she did, it ripped the top of all of her hair, all of her scalp, and she came in just with an exposed skull.
I've known this story forever, and it still makes me very uncomfortable.
And as a med student, all I could think was, what in the world are we going to do with this? You know, here I am, what, 20 years later?
It's been a while.
When was that?
And
2000?
it's still in my head.
It was like 2006.
And I wasn't even there. I was just
so
hearing about
16 years ago. Had a never-ending stream of chainsaw hands, hedge clipper hands, snowblower hands, table saw hands. That's up my alley, though. So that's what I got during fellowship, some of residency when I was on hand rotations, and that's some of what I do now, just depending on severity.
Yeah, you get hurricane shutters now.
Yep. Hurricane shutters are sharp, so every time we have to put up hurricane shutters, a bunch of people come in and they've got tendon lacerations and cut off fingers, and that's fine.
They are sharp. I was surprised the very first time when we moved down here how sharp they are on the edges.
So for my Florida watchers, wear gloves.
Wear your gloves.
I know, they're not fun to put on, but you don't want to see someone like me. Keep all your fingers.
3990.
But I agree. This one was probably the strangest. It's like very gross.
All right, so skip ahead. That was kind of a lengthy story time of what I do for a living. So
I got him sidetracked. I do that often.
All right, so let's talk call. So the story goes, we got a patient here, 63 years old, diabetic, who tells us the story that she was in her bed sleeping. Her dog sleeps in the bed with her, and she got woken up several times during the night where she thought her dog was just licking her foot. But as it turns out, once she got up, she realized that the dog actually ate half of her foot. So here's the picture. She couldn't feel it because she has neuropathy. Neuropathy is when you lose sensation in hands or feet because of long-standing diabetes. But because of her neuropathy, she couldn't feel pain, and the dog saw the opportunity to just eat every toe except for 1.5 pinky toes and all of the rest of her midfoot and foot otherwise. So she just woke up and had bones from here on her foot. She had that much of her, if this was a foot, that much of the foot was gone. And the dog had just eaten it and left the bone parts out that it couldn't chew off. So she got transferred to another hospital because I was already in the OR and there was some relative urgency, and had an amputation done is what my understanding was. So in the end, I ended up not doing her foot amputation, but I still got that phone call, and that just kicked off a day of pain for Christmas Eve. But one of the most memorable work Christmas Eves I've ever had. But I would be fine never reliving that Christmas Eve again.
Yeah.
I'm glad that one was in the past. But,
well,
you know.
You did your turn, so you've got a few more years before you have to do Christmas.
If you gotta work, at least I got some stories to remember. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. A little glimpse into the life of an orthopedic surgeon, where, you know, just got demolished.
He wasn't smiling that day, but now you're smiling about
it. But man, telling a story about a dog-eaten foot, for what it's worth, I love my job. I really enjoy being a hand surgeon, but just like every job, there are things that I don't love, and call's tough. Call's tough on everybody that takes it. It can be orthopedics. It can be, you know, it does. You don't even have to be a physician. It's hard on the nurses. It's hard on the ICU staff. It's very hard on anybody that has to go in. I get to see lots of firefighters, lots of police officers, anybody that takes call, especially call where you're doing hard things and lives and function hangs in the balance. It's stressful doing that. It's part of it. You do your job. You do what you got to do. You're, you know, in nearly all of these jobs, you're helping people, and you just got to keep that in mind. You know.
Someone's got to be there.
Someone's got to be there. One thing I would be interested in, if anyone just watched my whole rambling story about call and what I do for a living, and if anybody
actually see how long you actually talked.
I just talked 20 minutes.
Some of that out.
We're just sitting up here. I got a 2 hour, 45-minute flight. I get to ramble.
I do try to keep the videos within a certain amount of time.
Whatever. So, I don't know how long my rambling is actually going to be. Surely it's not going to be everything I just said because Kelly's going to edit it. But if you made it through the rambling monologue, then I would love to hear anybody else's call stories. So if you're a police officer, fireman, nurse, doctor, pilot, anybody out there taking call, if you have a minute and you can put at the bottom your most interesting call story, I would love just the story time. So.
But remember HIPAA.
Yeah. So if you noticed.
No specifics.
You cannot. Yeah. If you're in medicine and if you're sharing any medicine stories, then remember HIPAA. HIPAA is the Privacy Act. So when I told my call stories, you may have noticed that I didn't give any patient-specific information. But anyway, if you have a good story to tell, I love story time. It's one of the best parts of my job. People come to clinic and I get to hear the stories of how they got hurt or what happened to them. Sometimes they're great. So you know, I get very little joy in some of my job.
Even if it's something as punching a refrigerator. How did you break your hand?
Somebody punches a refrigerator every
And then they came back
day.
and like did it again.
Yeah. Don't punch stuff. Don't. And when you do,
at least get your thumb out.
I've gotten so good at fixing. I punched a wall, door stud, refrigerator, desk, screen, whatever. I can fix some broken hands from punching things. There's some very slick new implants that just let you move your hand immediately, even though you broke it. Oh, so good. So if you're in my area and you're foolish enough to punch something, hey, you let me know. You know where to find me. I would prefer taking care of your trigger digit, or your carpal tunnel, or your thumb arthritis. But if you punch something, hey, I like that too. It's fine. Come on down. Let's check O2 sat again. Woo, 97. Look at me.
How did you gain oxygen? We've been at the same thing.
I was running my mouth the whole time.
So you're breathing in?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Run your mouth and you breathe more. What's yours?
97.
Oh, guess who else is?
Good.
You're running your mouth too. I bet you had it all of your mouth running out though.
Actually, I'm surprised he said hi because when I'm trying to hold still, I usually hold my breath. Like, I'm trying not to move, so I don't do anything at all. That's pretty good. I'm glad you're the one flying the plane then.
Look at me. Amazing. Hey kids,
Yeah?
we're halfway there.
Living on a prayer. Every time. What you doing?
I felt this thing rubbing against me. The label of the seatbelt is plastic.
It is.
That plastic is older than me and falling apart just like I am.
Last time we flew was Thanksgiving, and you said that we were going to win against Alabama, and we lost horribly.
Jinxes aren't real. What could go wrong? Go Dogs. We're going to win.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
If Georgia pulls it off. When you watch this video, my faith never wavered. Georgia's got it.
We'll see.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Look, I just got some signal back. A little notification that I paid my Pandora bill just came through. That's great.
I never get any signal.
Hey Pandora, you want to sponsor the channel? Right
Yeah.
there. Just let us know.
What does Pandora have to do with it?
Pandora Internet Radio? Who doesn't love Pandora? Look, I'm a spokesperson already.
But it's not like I can use any of their songs on the thing.
We're gonna land this plane,
What
and
do
then I don't want to get to the destination and then have to wonder what are the radio stations here. I want to be able to just turn on some radio in the car, and boom, link up the phone in the rental car. Pandora. The perfect app for travel. See what I did there? See what kind of spokesman I am?
Travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the thing that I use for the videos? That's the royalty free.
I don't edit the videos. How do I know?
My brain's not working.
What's your O2 set?
I know. What is
We
that?
should check.
Let's check. We gotta get the thing that goes
The
with your
other one?
finger and compare.
I have another O2 sat meter, but before this trip we lost it. It would have been very useful for these
I still
comparisons.
think it's in your backpack.
Well, you checked back.
I will when we get out.
Oh, 98! 3, 2, don't wiggle.
I was doing so good.
They've even had,
98. What did you have?
I had 98.
Darn it. I take
All
back
right.
my aha.
We're neck and neck.
See?
So, anyway, brands to sponsor.
Why do we need any sponsors?
Because it'll be fun, because I like pitching stuff. Might as well make some comments about things that we use. Like, come on, GoPro. Shoot, we got 6 cameras in here.
Lord, how many hours?
I'm going to buy some more cameras.
Do I spend looking at GoPro footage?
I got Apple sitting right in front of me. You know, does Apple want to say, hey, what's up and be on the channel?
No, they do.
GoPro, Bose, we got Pandora, who sent me my bill while I was flying. Oh yeah, I pay for premium because I hate commercials. I'm here asking for sponsorships for commercials. And I pay to not get commercials. Right there, there it is. I'm like my own personal ad blocker.
Yeah.
This binder, I think it's made by Avery.
The binder. What is that even? I know 5-star. I don't know Avery.
No, it's not Avery. It doesn't say Avery. It says worldwide.
It's a worldwide.
It's a worldwide.
And that is also on Pandora.
see how we can mix and match. All right. Well,
we entertain ourselves.
We got the iPad and the Apple Watches. And look at this. I'm going to check my O2 sat again. This is something pilots do to make sure they're safe. Oh, I wiggled a lot. Yeah. Yeah, all right. I was talking with my hands.
That's cheating.
I'm pushing it to 100. Yeah, there it is. You know, I don't have a comparison O2 sat, but I will say that.
I will find it.
It sure seems like our Apple Watches are doing a fairly consistent job measuring our O2 sat. And if it is as good as our little fingertip O2 sat has proven to be in the past,
than
this is pretty good.
And putting it on there. We're only at 6,000 right now, so our O2s should be pretty good.
Yeah, well, mine's 100.
Aztec 2441 Mike, going to maintain 4,000.
Descend to maintain 4,000 forward, Mike. So just for practice, as we arrive in Athens, I'm going to go ahead and do the full IFR RNAV runway 9er approach. You can see I've taken my normal map and overlaid the approach plate, and we just had instructions from the radio to descend and maintain 4,000, and my initial approach fix is HECVA, and so you can see HECVA right there. Once we get to HECVA, we're going to follow the course north to Salem, and then we'll continue on the full approach down to runway 9er at Athens. So anyway, it's just good practice. I'm doing it just for just to see how everything works. Is all the equipment working? Are we good? Because I'm going to be leaving IFR and possibly doing IFR on the way home. It would be good just to have one simulated approach before we go, just to make sure everything is behaving as it did last time we flew and went IFR. If there's going to be a problem, now is the time to find it, not tomorrow.
1 Mike, cross HECVA at or above 3,000, cleared RNAV 9 approach, Athens.
Cross HECVA at or above 3,000, cleared for RNAV 9er approach to Athens, forward Mike. Athens Tower, Aztec 2441 Mike, established inbound runway 9er.
2441 Mike, Athens Tower, continue inbound for runway 9.
Continue inbound runway 9er, forward Mike. So I'm getting slow for this guy. This is where an accident would happen, so I gotta maintain 95. If he doesn't get off, we're gonna call a go around. Yeah, I've got everything set up for the landing. We got the gear down, we got the flaps in, and he's gonna turn, and we're gonna get clearance, or we're gonna have to leave. He's getting off.
Okay. Victor, text your via Alpha.
That's my decision height. We can see the runway.
Or 40 Mike, runway 9, clear to land.
Oh, runway 9 cleared to land, forward Mike. Little gust there at the end.
Good job, NJ.
Good job!
46 Delta, you're fine. 4 Mike, welcome back. Left there, Bravo 3 to the ramp. You can stay on this frequency.
Yep, me too.
Bravo 3 to the ramp, stay this frequency, forward Mike, thank you. Alright, so everything on the approach worked, good.
Good job. Good flying, AJ. Well, we're gonna go have our Christmas with my family, and we hope everyone had a good holidays.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year.
Welcome back to Athens.